Orcs Must Die Deathtrap is the latest installment in the Orcs Must Die franchise. This is the fourth installment, with the original Orcs Must Die releasing in October 5th, 2011 on Xbox Live Arcade, actually. This was on the 360 at one point. It later released on PC on October 12th, 2011, so a couple days afterwards, but basically it's exactly what it says. It's a tower defense game in the third person perspective, and you place trap, monsters will come in from each door, stuff like that, and as you progress, more doors will open, it gets harder, and then it's based in waves. The twist on Deathtrap is the fact that it's actually a roguelite. It's a full roguelike experience. You can upgrade your characters over time, you can upgrade your traps, get permanent upgrades to go into runs, and then the runs themselves have like the card system to where every wave you complete, you get a set of cards and you choose one, then those are typically your buffs. Some of them are kind of like OP, but they also balance out ones, but at the same time, it's exactly what it is. It's a tower defense game, and it's a lot of fun. With this one, there's a lot going on to it. There's a lot of traps, there's a lot of map, there's a lot of characters, and the game can be a little daunting when you come into it. And I found a couple tips that I can recommend to people after having about 20 hours in this game. It's a really, really fun game. I'll tell you what, just like a small review, this game has gone under a lot of people's radars, I feel like, recently, and Robot Entertainment is killing it because this game is actually really good, and it's hard to have like an older franchise game be good nowadays, especially when it's doesn't have as much, I would say, traction as say older franchises do. But yeah, anyways, I put together 5 tips to hopefully help you guys get started in this game, because it can be a little daunting at first, and you know, I had a little bit of inspiration because I realized whenever I started, this game was rough. That's just how it is. That's how you start. Don't do what I did. And follow these steps and maybe you'll be okay. Let's start with number 1, and that's honestly my thing, what I think is the most important. I'm just gonna get it out of the way. Start with 1-star levels and single core levels. This allows you to fully grasp the mechanics outside of the tutorial. It's also good for upgrading your traps and characters early game, because whenever you try to go through a run, you'll gamble your points whenever you move on to the next map. So usually when you gamble it, they kind of I believe it's about half of what you made in that one level. But as you progress, you can get more and more skulls, that's what it's called, the currency to upgrade things permanently in the background in your hub world. That's how you gain those. The further you go and the more you win, the more skulls you get, the higher like skull bonus you get. Also brings me to the next tip, which is number 2. Don't be afraid to end a run before the final boss. So the way the runs work in this game is it's not like this very long, go as long as you can run. It's, you basically, when you start, I believe it's like 2 levels and then a boss fight. For me, it took me a while to actually get out of the first phase. It took me a couple matches to get to mission 2 confidently. The only way I feel like you can know you're ready is if you really didn't have much trouble in the first level, because something about this is your rift points will carry over to the next one. So let's say you have 1 rift point left, unless there's like a card that they give you that gives you more rift points, that's pretty much what you have going into the next level. So don't be afraid to end a run. You'll actually still keep a lot of skulls. It's better than going into the next mission and failing and only getting half of what you made in the first mission. Tip number 3, start with an easier character. Just to list a few, I believe Vaughn, Kalos, and Maximilian are honestly the best ones to start with, especially Vaughn. You get this guy right away. I recommend also trying out Maximilian, who is actually the original guy who's on the original box art for the game, and it's really cool. You can unlock him in this. You can also unlock Gabriella, which I'm pretty sure she's in Orcs Must Die. I think she was introduced in Orcs Must Die 2 or 3. Some other characters I can list if you're trying to have a little more fun and have a little bit more of a challenge to them. I would say Sophie, Mac, and Harlow are the most difficult. Personally, the people could say differently, and but that's just how I am. And real quick, I'm gonna kind of cut this off a little bit, but since we're here, I'm gonna show you how to unlock the 2 new characters. Basically, it's just 6 locations total. 5 locations are for Maximilian and 1 location for Gabriella. And what you're going to see on screen now is pretty much just screenshots I took. That's the area that they're in. Unfortunately, I didn't get the screenshot before I picked up the item. It's very obvious. They're floating, glowing pieces, and you just go up to them and you click the button. With Gabriella, you just pick up the one thing and anyways, but yeah, that's how you unlock them. You can also upgrade them. And that leads me into the next thing. Tip number 4, upgrade everything. So after every run you do, you should be going to upgrade your character. With all the skulls that you have, I personally recommend upgrading traps first, or buying your traps, because they actually have separate currency, I guess, to buy traps. It's like a separate like skull. I think you get those by each mission you complete. I honestly can't confirm that. I need to look it up and put it in edit. But here in the footage you're seeing now, you're seeing me walk every location that allows you to upgrade your traps and characters. So there you go. End your run early, get some skulls, put those skulls towards, I would say, probably towards your traps first, and then you can go to the perks lady for a little bit. I kind of started with the perks lady, which it's cool, or I'm pretty sure that's Gabriella. Like, that's who you go to get your, like, to upgrade your abilities and stuff. The traps, I think, are the main focus of this game, even though your characters are pretty decently good. Whenever you're upgrading, it also allows the game to be easier for you, and that is always a big plus. We always love that. And just before we get to the final tip, I'm just gonna want to say, subscribe if you enjoyed this video so far. Turn on the bell for notifications. We post, I'm trying, we're trying here. But a bit of an honorable mention before I get to the final tip, and this one is, I mean, it goes without saying, and I'm sure a lot of people get really annoyed with this one, but it is the truth. That is to just pace yourself. Allow yourself to fail. That's how you learn. This game can be difficult, but it's not impossible. And that's really all I'll say with that. Final tip, I will say, pay attention to the map in your loadout. So one thing about this game is the maps can be big, the maps can be convoluted. It can be a lot to process at the start. Like whenever I first played these maps in this game, I was like, whoa. What is going on? That's why I recommend going for 1-star levels and single core levels. It allows you to understand the mechanics and map a little more. That way, that's a place to start. Luckily, in the later updates, they actually added smaller variants of the big maps that they have, so there's a lot more small map. And another thing, just click the reroll button when you first start your run, because you can actually reroll. You can choose the map you want to start with, basically. You just keep clicking the reroll. For your loadout, that's, again, goes with the map knowledge and everything, and also balances with your character, because if, let's say, you're playing a melee character, which is Kalos or Sophie, I believe those are the only melee characters, they're melee, they don't really have much range. Sophie does have the knife throwing ability, but the main focus is melee for them. You can adjust your loadout to have things that are more beneficial towards a ranged thing, because you don't have the range, and your traps can help you with that. Obviously, you can still have your floor traps or your wall traps that when they pass through them, it stuns them or whatever, but make sure you're putting in more ranged ones, like I forget what the traps are called, but it's basically the ballista traps. Those ones are nice, especially the ice one. It freezes them in place. Love that one. But yeah, that's all the tips I have to offer with this. I would say this game is pretty good. I wouldn't say it's my favorite Orcs Must Die. That'd probably have to be Orcs Must Die 3, or maybe even the original one. I used to play the hell out of the original Orcs Must Die, and I loved tower defense games. I think Dungeon Defenders is great, but I personally preferred Orcs Must Die more. The only thing I could say about this game that I'm kind of having an issue with is how weird the maps can be. They can be very confusing at times. I know some people have complained that they're pretty big, which they have updated the game to more help with the overabundance of big maps. So I'm glad that they went ahead and added some smaller maps in the game and smaller variants of maps in the game, because those have been some of the most fun. My only complaint with this game is the maps. I think the traps are fun, the characters are fun. I will say I wish Some of them are a little more accurate. At the same time, it is a tower defense game that there's multiple points of damage that you can rely on. So not really too much of a big deal on that one. The only thing I would say to change is add more cover to these maps. Like add more ways to close off lanes or something. I don't know. Like sometimes it feels like there's way too many lanes going on, and while you can manipulate where the orcs go, it's really hard to figure out what you want to do with it, because sometimes it doesn't feel like you get enough resources to use, and it can be really difficult at times and very frustrating to deal with. I know it might be intentionally designed, but that's the only things with the game. Of course I'm enjoying it. I mean, I'm pretty sure I'm enjoying it because I have about 20 hours already, and I've played almost all day yesterday, and that's kind of what sparked me to make this video, because this is a very good game, and I definitely recommend y'all try it if you haven't already. If you love tower defense, or if you love third-person shooter games, this one is great. It's really good. You can also play with your friends. It's 4-player co-op, I'm pretty sure. Up on screen now is my personal loadout. This is what I typically like to run. I change it up all the time because I'm also trying to just maximize all the levels and everything. I'm a huge progression guy, so if something's max leveled, I'm going to switch off of it, max level the next thing. Anyways, thank you guys again so much for watching. Hopefully you did enjoy. Make sure to leave a like if you did. Make sure to subscribe if you're brand new to the channel, and let me know down in the comment section below. Have you tried Orcs Must Die at all? I highly recommend this one. If you haven't tried an Orcs Must Die game, I would recommend Orcs Must Die 3. That one's really good too. Robot Entertainment, if y'all are watching this, you guys are awesome. I would love to continue making content for your game. Hopefully we can keep this going. But anyways, thank you guys again. I love y'all. Have an absolutely fantastic day.